Hey everyone, Joey here, and today we're going to do something a little bit different. I bought this. This is the Pokemon Premium Pinball Machine, my very first pinball machine. So we're going to talk about it. I am using a mic for me to be mobile today. I've never used this before. I have tried it, so bear with me if there is any issues, but let's talk all about the Pokemon Pinball Machine that I bought. Now, you might have noticed that I have some 3D printed items there on that machine. And in case you don't have a 3D printer, today's video sponsor might help you out with that. PCBWay is your one-stop shop for PCBs and PCB assembly, but also if you have any 3D printing that you want done and sent to you. So maybe you like the cup holder that I have here, or you like the topper that I have, which is a whole bunch of different Pokeballs and a Haunter. Looks awesome. You can get this 3D printed and sent to your house all easy from PCBWay. Just upload the STL, have them ship it to you, and you're done. So instead of spending hundreds of dollars on 3D printers, why don't you just get PCBWay to send it to you? Check out the link in the description. So there's a lot to talk about when it comes to this Pokemon pinball machine. Number one, pinball machines are very expensive. And again, I am new to this, so terminology, all of that, I am very new to this. I had no idea how expensive Pokemon pinball or any pinball machine was. This is about 10,000 US dollars for the premium version. Now, that is the middle tier. There is a pro version, it's about 7,000 US dollars. Premium that I have at 10, and then the limited edition, which they don't sell anymore, but if you would have gotten it, I think it was like $14,000 or $15,000 starting US dollars. It's a lot of money for these things, and you have to kind of really like pinball, I guess. Now, do I love pinball? Not really. I like pinball, but for me, this is more all about the IP, all about the theme, which is Pokemon. I've played so many different pinball machines at this point, like hundreds, just to try them all out. And there's probably a handful that I actually like. There's only one that I would actually buy, and I bought it. It's the Pokemon Pinball Machine. If you're curious what the other ones were, I really like the Jaws pinball machine. It's really cool, and you get the full Jaws experience, but also Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is awesome. I love the T-Rex. I love all about it. It's really cool. Those are kind of the three if I were to grab any of them, but Pokemon was the one that I really loved and I bought. Now back to the differences between the Pro, Premium, and Limited Edition. I can talk more about the Pro versus Premium than the Limited Edition since you can't buy it anymore, so it doesn't really matter. But there's a few different things there, and I was trying to decide myself on which one I wanted to get. So the Premium has the animatronic Pikachu, which moves through different parts of the game, and also the Pokeball moves too. So when you catch any Pokemon, it'll move. During the game, it moves. It's got a whole bunch of things that it does. On top of that, there is no Squirtle Whirlpool, which is in the bottom left. So you get a nice little cool Whirlpool for a Squirtle shot in the premium version that's not there in the Pro. Also, there is a Meowth sort of magnetic field, which is really cool because your ball goes there and it'll just shoot all which ways because there's some sort of magnet underneath. I don't really know how it works, but it's pretty cool. So there's that, and then there's a whole bunch of other things that add on. But long story short, there are differences, but the price point is a lot more expensive too. It's $3,000 difference. So you gotta make sure that that's stuff that you want. The outside cabinet changes, the art style, all of that changes as well. So there are differences between the two on more than just the actual gameplay, which all of that affects gameplay. Now, besides the 3D printed stuff that I have, I've added two different things out of the box. There is the shaker motor, which I had installed during my white glove service. I did not set this thing up. I didn't know what I was doing. I tried reading the manual, but I wanted somebody to come and do it for me, and then I could ask questions about, hey, what do I do here? How do I set this up? All of that. So shout out to Nitro Pinball, who is the distributor in Canada, which is where I live. They're only one that I know of for Stern. And so they came, they set it all up. The guy was really nice. He answered all of my questions. It was really cool. And so I got the shaker motor installed. That is a lot. So it was on the maximum setting, which there isn't an intensity setting with these things. It is like how often does it apply instead of how strong is the motor. So I put it down to the lowest setting and it still shakes the house, but it's much more manageable. It's a lot nicer. The second thing that I added is Invisiglass. Well, there's different names for it. HD glass is what Stern calls it, but it's essentially like a see-through glass to reduce glare. Makes it a lot better. So by default, the glass that comes with it, not very good. It's kind of cloudy. When you put this on, and I saw it instantly, it was a very big difference. So those are the two things that a lot of people recommend to do, and that's what I did to mine. But let's talk all about the actual Pokemon machine. So obviously the art style on the sides is really cool. Like it's Pokemon everywhere, as you would expect. There's Pokemon inside of the actual cabinet, just in different spots that you can just find. And it's really cool to just kind of look around and be like, oh, they put this Pokemon here, they put Haunter here, they put Bidoof here. Like, it's all really cool like that. Then the outsides, of course, you have wrapped Pokemon everywhere. It is a Pokemon pinball machine. You would expect that there's going to be Pokemon everywhere. But let's talk about the gameplay here. So essentially, it's pinball, but there are different things to pinball. Me being a new person to pinball did not know what the rules of pinball were. And I still don't know what the rules are for this machine that I own, but let's talk about what you have. You have 4 different, I think they call it lanes and orbits. I think orbits is the left side and lane is the middle inside. But like there's a Bulbasaur orbit or lane, there's a Squirtle lane, there's a Pikachu lane, and then there's a Charmander lane. And each one does something different. You can have different things happen. The Squirtle one, for example, if you hit it a few times, you'll get the Whirlpool added if you have the premium version. So the Whirlpool will be able to spin the ball around and you get access to that, which is actually really cool. Then, of course, the actual gameplay part of this is that you want to catch Pokemon. And so to do that, you hit points, and usually you're just hitting the light up points until you discover a Pokemon. And then the game is like, hey, you discovered this Pokemon, but now you have to get the Pokedex out to scan it and figure out what it is. That is a special shot. It is a hard shot to hit. It's this purple shot right next to the Pikachu, and you have to hit the ball. Basically, if you hit the ball, it'll scan it and be like, okay, we know what Pokemon this is, now you can catch it. Which ends up being another hard part because now you have to actually get points, which is easy. You just shoot the flashing lights of the game. Then you have to shoot into the Pokeball to actually catch the Pokemon. So there are a few things here. Like there's times or time limits on every single thing. There's a time limit for you to use the Pokedex, there's a time limit for you to catch the Pokemon, or they just leave. So you have to hit these shots. And for beginners, like my wife and I, it's kind of difficult to know what to do. But when you hit that shot, when you catch that Pokemon, it feels so good. And the ball does the 3 little twitches to know that you're gonna catch it. It's all really well done. Now there's a few other things here. We talked about the animatronic Pikachu, the animatronic Meowth. The Meowth is really cool. When you hit it, you have to hit it a few times. I think it's 4 different times. Then you can get a multi-ball. All you have to do is shoot it into the center of where Meowth was, and you'll get multi-ball. It's really easy to do, and it's really fun. Multi-ball is probably my favorite thing to get in any pinball machine because it's just crazy after that. You have 6 or 5, 6 different balls that come at you, and you're just going nuts, and it's awesome. That is really cool, and it's all done by hitting Meowth and then hitting the center. Pikachu just looks at you and it'll twitch, and occasionally the sound of the game will laugh at you, which adds to the whole part of it, which I can't really talk about that much here, obviously for many different reasons, which I'm assuming are going to be copyright reasons because Nintendo and Pikachu and Pokemon and all that. The sound of the game is really cool. So it has the anime intro, but I think by a different artist, so you get same sort of idea, and it's a little bit more guitar riffs into it. Then you also have the voice actors for Meowth, you have Giovanni, you have Pikachu, a bunch of different Pokemon and all of that show up on the actual screen, which is really cool. And then there's actual gameplay, which is something that, again, as somebody not new to or not familiar enough with pinball, there's whole gameplay to pinball that I did not know about. Like, you start off in a biome, we're in the forest, you're catching Pokemon, you have to catch Pokemon, then you have to battle them, which is something we'll talk about as well, but you have to battle the Pokemon to be able to get into the next biome, which I have only gotten to like a few times. It was a lake, and I don't know what else there is, but I know there's a lake. So there's 4, I think, different biomes, but I've only seen 2 because I'm not good enough to see the other ones. But yeah, there is the essential gameplay is you go and catch the Pokemon. When you're done catching the Pokemon, you have to get the ball into what they call a town scoop, and you have different light ups of what it does at different moments. So after you catch a Pokemon, it tells you that shoot it into the town scoop to battle Pokemon. And then you're battling. And that is usually when I die or lose my ball because I'll try and battle and you just have to hit the light up things on the actual pinball machine, and then I'll drain it, which is what happens when you lose the ball, and then I lose the battle. But if you beat the battle, that's when you get to move over to the new biome. That's when you get to move over to the lake from the forest or whatever it is. But you can also do other things when it's lit up. There's a mystery, which is usually just Pokeballs that it'll give you, or extra ball, which is, again, extra ball. I have not seen the extra ball yet. I'm assuming that's something that you get later on. But there are other modes that they just added in an update that I even haven't seen yet. There's a Team Rocket type thing and a whole bunch of stuff with Bulbasaur and then Pikachu ramp and all of this. So long story short, there's a lot that you can do here. But the end game here is you want to catch Pokemon, of which, as of right now, there's 202 Pokemon. The unfortunate thing is that this should all be visible in their app. There's a Stern IC app, Insider Connected app, and you should be able to see achievements in there as well as your Pokedex and all of that. It's not there as of right now. There is a really cool website called Pinball Dex that you can see all of that. So you can see what you've caught because this is all connected through Wi-Fi. So you connect it, you can see what you've caught, and that makes it really cool. So you can just see all the Pokemon that you have and what you need still. The game also tells you when you catch a Pokemon that, hey, it's been added to your Pokedex. Here's how many Pokemon you actually have, how many more you have to go, all that sort of thing. But they haven't updated their app yet or any of that software, which is a little bit limiting. Now, you might be thinking that after spending $10,000 US dollars, that's it, you're good to go. But there is more to a pinball machine. There's accessories that they just announced, which are very expensive. Again, not somebody who knew any of this, but like there's a $1,500 topper, which is a Magikarp, and it moves and the waves move and it looks really cool, but it's $1,500. It also adds a game mode, but you get that anyways from not even having the topper. So it's not something that you need, it's just more visible because you can connect or collect all of the Magikarp letters and it shows it more often. But then there's also other things like the art blades, which are things that go inside of the cabinet on the sides. Those look pretty cool. You can get expression lighting and lighting on the inside and the outside, RGB lighting for the speakers. Like there's all kinds of stuff. Me personally, I'm looking at the shooter rod, which it turns it into a Pokeball. I kind of want that. That looks pretty cool. As well as the RGB lighting for the speakers. I like that, and the art blades. But honestly, the big takeaway here is this is going to be a very niche product for a niche amount of people. It is Stern's, or apparently one of Stern's biggest selling products, which you can imagine. Pokemon is the biggest grossing franchise in the world. And so the crossover here is when you get somebody who loves Pokemon, like I do, likes pinball, it's a good fit. So if that's you, if you've always been pinball curious and you've been wanting one, I got nothing negative. Like this is super fun. Like I said, there are likely better pinball machines out there for pinball players, for people who identify as just pinball users. And Godzilla is usually pointed as one of the best ones, and then all these other ones. And there's a lot of ones that I like too. But for me, it has to be the theme that carries it and connects it all together. So while I'm sure that some other ones are probably better, if I'm getting one for my house, it's got to be a theme that hits for me. And this is the theme that hits for me. Pokemon is awesome. Pokemon Pinball Machine is awesome. I've been having a ton of fun, my wife and I. And it's really cool that you can just separate it out like by trainers if you wanted to, so you can take turns. And there's so much more to pinball than I wasn't expecting, that I kind of learned over my time of having one and checking them out and all of that. It's a lot. So yeah, that's really all I want to make a video on today, was just a short, quick video on my experience with getting a pinball machine, having it set up, playing with it. I'm sure I'm gonna run into some roadblocks at some point with things not working properly and all of that sort of thing that I'm probably gonna have to do research on how to fix, because if you've ever seen the bottom of one of these or the underside when you pull it out, it's a lot. There's a lot under there. So it is exceptionally complex types of equipment, but super fun if you can get them to be working properly. And so far, everything's been good. So if you've ever been curious about pinball, check out the Pokemon Pinball Machine. I bought this with my own money. Nobody's telling me anything about this. I'm just telling you that I'm having a lot of fun with it. So if you've been curious about this, if you've been eyeing it and it's in your tax bracket, which not in many people's tax bracket, like I don't know how people have 20 of these things in their house. Super expensive. But if you want one and Pokemon is the one you're looking at, it's awesome. I don't know. It's great. Don't forget to like and sub to help the channel grow. Come join me on the Discord to talk all about retro gaming and I guess pinball now. Otherwise, Hope you all have a good one, and I'll see you next time.